distinctive and unique about your storytelling, layered really beautifully with comedy and sadness, and I think that's why so many people really stick with it. I was wondering if you could tell me, in your own words, what kind of stories are you drawn to tell when you're creating your work?
I think I'm interested in telling stories about flawed people. I'm interested in telling stories about complicated people. I'm interested in telling stories about complicated relationships. I'm interested in ideas that feel funny on paper and then are maybe more, 2 steps more dimensionalized than you might expect. I remember on BoJack, we used to say, like, let's take the goofiest idea we can and then just dig into it until we can find the beating heart underneath. Introducing these silly ideas and then, like, is there a way to bring that around and break people's hearts? And vice versa. Can we start with some really sad stuff and, like, get some laughs there?
Everyone in my family goes to that farm eventually.
Oh, dude, your mom's dead.
What? No, she's at a farm after a prolonged bout of Parkinson's. A farm where they don't have telephones or the internet, and oh my God, she's dead. My mom is dead.
You have these really relatable and honest characters that are also really funny. And from what I've seen of your new show, I think that it's got some of that same kind of stuff. Do you feel that animation has given greater opportunity to convey the sort of stories that you like to tell?
Yes. No, that's not my whole answer. What if that was, though? I think animation does some things to your brain that I don't know if I fully understand. But I think it, maybe because you watched it as a kid, it puts you in a different space, or maybe because it requires a little more imagination because it is less representational than photographs of human beings. Tonally and thematically, it allows you to go to places that I don't want to say you couldn't in live action, but that would feel different in live action. I mean, it's something we really discovered on BoJack Horseman, that almost because it was such a goofy, silly show, we could go really dark and emotional, and that BoJack could just do these monologues, because we're living in a cartoony world, and it's not real, and so there's a suspension of disbelief there, whereas if you were watching a drama, a live action drama, and someone started pontificating the way BoJack did, you might be like, give me a break, no one talks like that. But because it's a cartoon, it's okay that no one talks like that. We can express some things that maybe you might not be able to express otherwise. And so I think animation is really helpful in that way, that just it loosens your brain up a little bit, and it opens your heart.
Your next show looks fantastic, and from what I've seen, it's amazing. It's so funny. It touches on a lot of the things we've been talking about. The animation style is super cool. It almost has this picture book, like graphic novel element to it. With the shapes and the colors, it's very vibrant and fun. How does that specific visual art style support the tone of this show? I
think the brighter and more fun a show looks, the more leeway you have to go to more emotional places. Sometimes there is a nervousness of this is serious. I want people to take it seriously, so let's really the visuals should reflect that. And I have found that when I've had concerns about that in the past, they've been overblown, and that the opposite has been true. And so my way in on this show was I had Lisa Hannawalt, who I've known since I was 15. Maybe younger, and I had Alison Dubois, who also worked on Tuca Birdie and BoJack, 2 brilliant artists, and I said, go to town, you're in charge here. And of course I have feedback and talk about what we want to be saying, what we want to be doing, and they always look to me. But the more leeway I've given them, the more they've been able to surprise and delight me. And one of the things I'm proud of about this show is how collaborative it is. And that I like to think that I create a workplace where people are encouraged to bring their full selves to it. Certainly feel it's true in the writing room, but then the artists and animators as well. And I'm looking for people to come in with their ideas and to surprise me.
Hope you like kicking ass, Charlie, because that's all we're gonna do today.
My tie got stuck in the copier this morning.
The cast is brilliant. Yeah. It's really funny, bringing these characters to with the visual style, with your writing, and all these moving parts. It's fantastic. How did you know, and what were you looking for with these specific voices for these specific characters? And what was the recording process like?
Well, so some of it, just to kind of connect back to what I was saying, is collaborative, right? So Lisa Edelstein came in to read for the mother, and she said, I'm reading this, and I'm kind of hearing traces of my own mother, and so I was wondering if I could do her accent. I said, sure. And so because of that character is a New Yorker now, which is not how I was hearing it when I wrote it, right? And so they bring things to it that defines the character and kind of helps us as writers think about what the show is and what the show is going to be. And I actually heard that from a lot of people when we were recording of like, oh, you know what, I think I'm going to do an impression of my dad, or I had an uncle like this. And that was really fun to make it, to kind of bring in the family element of it, that it feels like we're all, no one's doing a one-to-one of their family. I'm not writing a one-to-one of my family, but we're all bringing our own families into it. When we were casting, the main thing that I was looking for was just the chemistry between them. And so we had all these guys read, and because it was recorded, we could edit them together in different combinations. And that first table read was just an incredible moment of like, oh, this is going to work. They were bouncing off each other like they've been in this cast for like 10 years already. And I felt like these relationships are really baked in. And some of that is the writing, and some of that is what they bring to it. And they really got it. And it was really fun to see.
I totally get that. Right from the get-go, you can sense like the familiarity between the family members. And I love what you're saying about people bringing in their own experiences.
Drugs were fun then, but now they're bad.
How does it feel to have another animated series coming out?
We did well with BoJack in that late summer slot. It feels like you do it before all the kids are going back to school, so then they're all kind of talking about it in the fall. They're telling their friends. I don't know if we have any data to back that up, or if that's just kind of a quote. Well, that's probably happening. But it feels like, hey, it's been good before. Why mess with success?
Yeah.
Let's try it again.